This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News. I'm joined by Coach Calvin Ford here in Las Vegas. Calvin, it's a pleasure to meet you, pleasure to talk to you for the first time.
You too.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Doing great. I'm enjoying Radio Way. I'm enjoying Radio Way.
Enjoying Radio Way, and your star man returns on Saturday night. Before we come on to Saturday, just a few questions around Tank himself and the kind of enigma that is Gervonta Davis. For as long as you've worked with him, what separates him in your mind to the rest of not just his division but boxing? What makes him such a unique success story?
He's different from all of them. His upbringing, things that he do. You watch his dress. You watch how he talk. You know, he's one of them kids. I mean, my example, a Disney kid that's been on their shows as a kid, and you watch that kid grow up to be who they made him. Tank is built for this. You know what I'm saying? He enjoys this. He's coming into his own awareness of him. So it's just right now, we just sit back to see what's next.
You've started to see, certainly this week, I don't want to say he's come out of his shell more, but he's been a lot more kind of proactive with the way that he's responded in press conferences, a bit more of a back and forth with Frank Martin, not something we've been used to seeing.
Because again, it took time and years and situations and stuff to go through to bring that out of him. You know, he have a lot to give, and he's starting to understand his purpose. You know what I'm saying? And how would I sit there and say that a lot of young people in different degrees go through a lot of stuff in life, and they always beat them upside their head, but it's just things that they go through. And he's trying to show them at that level you go through it, but how do you make it through?
He obviously has a perfect record at this moment in time, but when he steps between the ropes, is there anything which you feel like we don't see? And if we don't see it, what do you think that we're missing out on, that you get to see day in, day out in the gym?
Well, once we step in that ring, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's our job to recognize it, to put a fire extinguisher on it, to bring what we need to bring out of them. You know what I'm saying? And hope what we did in camp was what we was looking for.
Calvin, how difficult can it be for an opponent to prepare for somebody like Tank Davis? Because, as has been mentioned, he doesn't have this high volume output. He's very precise with his work,
Right.
and then he finds that shot which will take out any man. What's it like for an opponent, in your opinion, to try and prepare for that?
They had to prepare for him. Look at his record. You hear what you say, he's precise. You know what I'm saying? So when I look at that situation, he have a good trainer, but a trainer only going to take him so far, so you got to have something within inside. And Martin is here. Remember, it's the Big Four. He was not even mentioned before, so he worked his way in this position. He's here for a reason, and I understand that. I need him to be that guy to push them buttons that I know was in him, because I haven't seen the best of Tank yet.
Where does Frank rank in Gervonta's career so far in terms of level of opponent?
I can't say that until after this fight.
On paper, do you have an
I
opinion?
still can't say it because it's just on paper. He's here for a reason. If he wasn't here, Shakur wanted to fight him, so it rung the bell to him. But Martin said, not enough money.
That's another thing which we're going to come on to, the financial element of fighting Gervonta Davis as an
It's real.
opponent. Yeah.
Let's do this. The money is real. Simple as that.
But for years, people talk about Canelo and the financial element and how he's the guy kind of can supply an opponent with that big paycheck. How would you compare the Canelo and Tank paychecks for an opponent?
It's coming. He's coming into his awakeness. It's coming. You hear Canelo said it. That's my favorite boxer. And Tank went and visited him, you know. So real, recognize real.
What do you anticipate to see on Saturday night between Gervonta and Frank? How do you envisage the fight going?
For Tank, again, I want to see him put on the best performance that I've never seen. With people leaving, and I'm looking at the internet, and they say, man, that fight was a great fight. And that's why I'm hoping Martin is that guy.
He said yesterday at the press conference that he feels maybe the 8th to 9th round, the stoppage will be there for him. Is that aligned with your own opinion as well?
I don't believe in stoppage. Because every time somebody gets stopped, oh, he caught me with a lucky shot. I didn't see the punch. I like when a judge can go home and say, yo, man, he whooped my ass.
So you'd rather 12 rounds of, in your word, maybe
12 rounds of punishment, and he keep coming out there for some more. That's what I want to see.
We look towards the future. There's a number of names between 135 and 140 the fans would love to see Tank share the ring with. If there was one fight you could give your opinion on to Tank and you'd love to see him share the ring with next, who would it be?
There's only one fighter, and I don't want to mention his name yet because I need him to keep doing what he's doing. He's on the right track. You get what I'm saying? But it's coming. They just got to get them numbers right.
Can I push and probe a little bit further then? There's always been talk, firstly, of Gervonta and Vasily Lomachenko sharing the ring.
That's a good one right there. That one, you see how my eyebrow went up? I thought I was The Rock for a minute. My eyebrow went up. That type of fight, it makes sense. Reason why, because Romo can bring a country with him. And he had the decorations of a mega fight.
What have you made, in terms of stylistically, he's an enigma himself.
Yes, he is.
He's the Matrix, as he
Yes,
nicknamed
he is.
himself. What weaknesses do you spot in him? How does Gervonta find the breakthrough in a Lomachenko fight?
We haven't stood in front of a guy like that. That's the guy. See, that's one of them guys out the Big Four. You know what I'm saying? And he's doing great. He's back in that saddle again, and he understands that Tank is the yin and he's the yang. You know, so we just got to wait and see, does it happen?
Another fight which people would love, sticking with 135, is of course Shakur Stevenson. Do you believe that we get to see that one in the near future?
It's just based on Shakur, to tell you the truth, because he got to understand we are the managers, promoters, that's their brand. And they can't make a decision even if they want to make a decision. You know what I'm saying? So, again, it have to make sense to the people that's in charge, you know? Then when you get with the people that's in charge of the money situation, it got to make sense for everybody winning.
Shakur's had his critics recently from his most recent performance, his upcoming fight. What have you made of those critics and those who maybe aren't a fan of his style?
Well, Shakur said he's going to be Shakur. He said if it's going to be boring, it's going to be boring. And it's in his mind. Again, that's one of the things that doesn't put him on that level. You know what I'm saying? But that's Shakur. Shakur going to stick to what he do. You know, I call Shakur a master boxer. You know what I'm saying? That's just what he is, you know. If things don't go the way he wanted to go, it's because of him.
Going up to 140 in potential fights there, how big could, well, I say 140, it might be 143 or above technically, but how big is a Ryan Garcia rematch?
That's a big one.
Dependent on obviously how everything unfolds with what he's got going on at the minute on the back of a Haney
Ryan
fight.
Go back and look at the fight and look at they dehydrated me. No, we didn't. We did the same thing. Actually, he came in the weight where he came in with, what's his name, 43. That's where he normally fight at. If you go check the paperwork, you'll see Ron always fought at 43. You know, so again, he would take that fight with Tank.
What did you make of his performance against Devin Haney?
I said that before anybody that he was going to beat Devin. I said it. Everybody asked me that question. I was on my own podcast. He's going to beat Devin.
Has a Haney and a Tank fight somewhat subsided now because of that defeat?
You can't never write that fight off. It's potential. You can't never write it off. But again, nobody talk about the numbers that was made from the fight. You hearing them speaking about, I ain't get paid. You know what I'm saying? So they can't sit down at the bargaining table if you ain't got no chips.
What is the potential of seeing Tank go and fight in Saudi Arabia? Because there were previously mentions of it, shall we say, and then Tank seemed to kind of shut it down a little bit. Do you think we'd see?
In the words of Calvin Ford, if the money right, they'll fight right.
How difficult is it to match and meet then Gervonta's demands?
Same thing with Canelo. Canelo asked for 200 million. Is he wrong?
But then people also say with Canelo that he asked for that much so that he didn't have to fight David
No.
Benavidez.
If you want to, if somebody, this is how I look at that whole situation. You got money to burn, and you really want that to happen. You really want that to happen. Make it happen. If you had that type of money to just burn, won't you do it?
I don't think the thought of me having £200 million, I don't think I could burn it like that.
No, but I'm saying, I'm talking about the people that I think got money to burn, because that's the way they present themselves. If you want to put on the greatest fight in the world and you want to sit there and say you did that, it's no limit to it. It's just money.
Calvin, outside of all things Tank, who do you enjoy to watch?
As far as fighting,
Yeah.
I love the morale about it, the work about it, the work that both of them put in on both sides. You know what I'm saying? The education behind it.
Are there any fighters in particular you like to watch outside of Tank?
I like to watch all of them. If it's a good match, I'm gonna sit down and watch, because I'm still a student. And, look at certain things, potential opponents for other fighters that I work with. Want to work with a guy, he got potential, but they're not bringing it out of him. You know what I'm saying? So, I watch all of them. If I happen to see him, and I say, man, I watch your fight. I can help you.
Calvin, one man I'm going to ask about, and might be a bit bizarre, but have you heard of Ben Whittaker?
No.
So the only reason I'm going to ask, because Ben's a light heavyweight from the UK, Olympic silver medalist in Tokyo.
Dark skin, like
Yeah.
he African or something like
Yeah.
that. Yes, I did heard of him.
He's very
A
showboaty.
monster.
He's only 6-0 at the minute, but he's very
monster.
flashy and showboaty.
Yes. My opinion with him, he got to tighten up before he come here.
Because he has aspirations to come to America.
His goal, he got to come here. He's going to come here, because this is the mecca of it. With the talent that he had, it reminded me of Prince Naeem. That's what it reminded me of.
That is the comparison a lot of people make back home.
Yeah, so my thing is, you got to tighten up, but keep what he doing.
Are there any UK fighters that you do like to keep an eye on in particular?
I like their passion. All of them, they put the work in just like everybody else. Just keep grinding, because when you look at the two guys from Matchroom and Eddie Hearn, they giving them a tunnel to go through. So if they keep on, and then what's his name? The Shaq. He's trying to buy all of them to make things happen. So we don't know how this thing gonna go.
Just whilst I got you some fights on the horizon, I want to get your thoughts on. Artur Beterbiev and Dimitri Bivol, undisputed at light heavyweight.
What's his nickname I just gave Bivol? No nonsense, Bivol. He's the man. No nonsense, man. He's basic. He sticks to the plan. I love him.
What for me, when I watch him, the most impressive thing is the footwork and his judging of the distance. What impresses you the most when you watch somebody like a Dimitri Bivol?
No nonsense. Stick to the. He's sound. He's sound, man. You can't take nothing from a man. I ain't changing what I'm doing, but I'm gonna make it exciting the way I like to make it exciting.
Moving away from that, we recently saw Alexander Usyk defeat Tyson Fury.
Yes.
What were your thoughts on Usyk's performance and his win?
I knew he was going to win, because he loved boxing. He loved war. He's a war machine.
Calvin, before we wrap this up and leave a final word to yourself, anything you'd like to leave on? Anything you'd like to say to everybody in the UK?
Well, I can't wait till the rematch come with Tyson Fury and him. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe Tyson wasn't on his game that fight. So we could really see the best of the best go against the best. So I'm going to leave that one for you.
Calvin, I appreciate your time. Good luck on Saturday night.
Thank you, man.
And I'll see you soon.
See you soon.